welcome back to the deep dive. We are doing something a little unusual today.
Yeah, this one is different.
Usually, when we dig into a topic, whether it's history, tech, whatever, we're pulling from academic journals, news reports, that sort of thing. But today,
We have a script.
we have a script, it's a guide, and honestly, it's a masterclass in this very specific type of persuasion called applied storytelling, or APSEF.
It definitely caught me off guard. When I first opened the files, I was expecting, a nutritional study or maybe a culinary history piece.
Right.
Instead, we're looking at this meticulously crafted speech designed to sell you on the virtues of a humble, everyday grocery item.
The Namwa banana.
The Namwa banana of all things.
But see, that's the whole trick, isn't it? To you and me, it's a banana. But in this script, it is absolutely not just a fruit.
Oh, not at all.
According to our source material, this is an affordable elixir of life. It is a, and I quote, legendary superfood sent to us by the gods.
It rivals anything you'd find in a high-tech NASA lab, apparently.
And that is exactly why this is so fascinating for a deep dive. We aren't just going to talk about potassium or fiber, though the science is actually pretty solid.
It is, surprisingly. But no, we're going to analyze how this source text teaches a speaker to take something mundane, something you walk past in the store without a second thought, and reframe it.
Turn it into this high stakes investment.
Exactly. We're looking at the psychology of the combat banana, the Super Saiyan metaphor, and how to use cheesy pickup lines to charm an audience.
The Muksao. We will definitely get to those. But okay, let's start at the beginning. The source breaks this speech down into stages, and stage one is the hook.
Right. And in applied storytelling, the hook is everything. You have, 10 seconds to convince someone to listen?
And the source is very explicit. It tells the speaker to avoid what it calls an academic table of contents.
Don't list vitamins. Don't start with a definition. It's boring.
Instead, it starts with a challenge, a confrontation almost. The text suggests opening with a question. Do you believe that the cheapest anti-aging elixir in the world isn't in a NASA lab?
And think about the psychology of that opening.
Mm-hmm.
It immediately creates this huge contrast. NASA lab implies expensive, inaccessible, elite.
And then it just pivots. Not in a lab, but on the shelf at home.
Exactly. It frames the banana as a hidden treasure. In storytelling terms, this is the secret in plain sight trope. It makes you feel like you've been missing out on something obvious.
It effectively makes you feel a little bit dumb for ignoring it, but also excited that the solution is so easy.
Yeah.
But once they have you hooked with that NASA comparison, the script moves to stage two. This is the core benefit. Now, normally this is where a nutritionist would start talking about digestion.
And they lose half the audience right there.
Right. So this script takes a completely different approach. It introduces a metaphor that I honestly found hilarious, but pretty effective. It calls the digestion process the big cleaning day.
This is just a prime example of applied storytelling. You turn a biological process into a narrative scene. The source describes the banana not as food, but as hiring a maid for your intestines.
A maid? Inside your gut? I mean, come on.
It sounds funny, but let's look at the science it's trying to convey. The script is talking about pectin.
Okay, let's unpack that. Because I think most people see fiber on a label and just think roughage, eating cardboard.
Right, but pectin is different. It's a soluble fiber. So when it enters your digestive tract and mixes with water, it doesn't just sit there. It forms this gel.
A gel, okay.
So when the source says it acts like a maid sweeping the floor, that's actually a surprisingly accurate physical description. It's this viscous substance that moves through the intestines, trapping toxins and waste, and just carrying them out.
So it's not scraping, it's more like gathering.
Exactly. A gentle cleanup. The script frames this as a renovation of your internal house.
There's also a visual element here we have to talk about. The script describes an infographic to go with this speech. It depicts a banana, and I'm not making this up, wearing a crash helmet.
The combat banana.
The combat banana. Why on earth does banana need a helmet?
It's brilliant branding, though. If you just show a picture of a fruit, people think snack.
Yeah.
But if you show a fruit in a crash helmet, people think protection. They think action.
Yeah.
The source says this banana is ready to fight.
Fighting wrinkles, fighting belly fat.
It's fighting toxic buildup. It turns a passive act eating into an active battle strategy.
It creates a sticky idea. You might forget what soluble fiber does, but you probably won't forget a banana soldier fighting a war in your stomach.
Exactly. And the promise attached to this is massive.
Oh, it's huge. The script says if you eat one before bed, you wake up with a flat stomach. So flat it feels like you're in a different body.
And that's the pain point strategy again. They aren't selling the process, they're selling the result. That desire for a quick, visible transformation. But really, if the script stopped there, it would just be a diet fad. Where it gets really clever is stage 3.
This is what the source calls the secret sauce.
Correct. And this is where the nutritional advice gets surprisingly specific. The storytelling shifts from the fruit itself to the concept of food synergy.
But they don't use the word synergy, right? Because that just sounds like a corporate boardroom meeting.
No, of course not. They use a term that hits a very specific cultural nostalgia. They call it a Super Saiyan fusion.
Which, for anyone who didn't grow up watching Dragon Ball Z, basically means powering up to an insane godlike level.
It implies that 1 plus 1 doesn't equal 2. It equals 10.
Okay.
And the source suggests 2 specific pairings to achieve this Super Saiyan status. The first one is the muscle builder, banana plus a boiled egg.
All right, I have to play devil's advocate here for a second. A banana and an egg. That sounds like a pretty standard breakfast. Is Super Saiyan really the right term for something I can grab at a gas station?
It feels hyperbolic, sure. But look at the gap it fills. A banana is high in potassium and carbs. It gives you immediate energy.
But it burns off pretty quick.
It burns off quickly. An egg provides that high density protein and healthy fats.
So you're stabilizing the fuel burn.
Precisely. The script specifically targets people who are tired from work or want muscle without buying expensive whey protein. It frames this combo as a legendary fusion that lets you work until morning. It's the blue-collar superfood.
Banana egg saves the world. I think that was the actual phrase used.
That's the line. And again, notice the narrative. It's not this is a balanced breakfast. It is this will save your world. It elevates the mundane to the heroic.
Okay, so then we get the second pairing. This one is aimed at a totally different desire, anti-aging. This is the banana plus nuts combination.
Right. Almonds, peanut butter, cashews. And the metaphor here changes completely. We go from the combat banana to something much softer. The visual described is a rabbit hugging a banana.
A rabbit hugging a banana, is that just because it's cute? Or is there a function to the hug?
There's a function. It's actually a metaphor for the chemical interaction. The hug symbolizes locking.
Locking what?
Your blood sugar. When you eat a banana alone, your blood sugar spikes. And that spike can contribute to inflammation and aging over time.
Okay.
But when you introduce the good fats from the nuts, they slow down the absorption of that sugar. They hug the carbohydrates, basically. The script says this locks in youth. It keeps the skin firm because you aren't stressing your system with all those insulin spikes.
So the rabbit hug isn't just a cute cartoon. It's actually a simplified diagram of how the glycemic index works.
Exactly. But if you start talking about the glycemic index, people's eyes glaze over.
Yeah, you've lost me already.
But if you talk about a rabbit hugging a banana to protect your youth, people remember it.
And notice how they categorize this. They call it the secret sauce. You know, in marketing or public speaking, telling your audience a secret creates intimacy. It makes them feel like insiders.
And the script is very explicit about this. It instructs the speaker to lower their voice, to whisper this part like it's gossip. Here's the trick that isn't in the textbooks.
That brings us neatly to the mechanics of this whole thing. We've been talking about the content, the what, but the source text is really a guide on how to deliver it. It gives these specific instructions on body language that are just fascinating.
Yes, the applied storytelling technique is extremely physical. It knows that communication is 70% nonverbal.
Right.
For example, you mentioned the whispering. But there are also specific gestures. The script instructs the speaker to pantomime peeling a banana.
Imaginary props. Why? Why not just hold a real banana?
You could, and the script suggests having one. But the pantomime invites the audience to imagine with you. It engages their mirror neurons. When you pretend to peel a banana, their brains simulate the action of peeling a banana. It creates a shared reality.
And then there's the eye contact. The source says to look at the audience like you are telling a secret to a close friend.
That changes the entire vibe of the room, doesn't it? It goes from a lecture, I am the expert, you are the student, to a confession. I found this amazing thing and I just have to tell you. It builds trust.
There's also a note on pacing. It breaks the speech down into rhythms.
It does. The rhythm instructions are quite precise. The hook should be fast and exciting. You want to wake people up.
Get that dopamine going.
Exactly. Then when you get to the facts, the pectin, the egg, the nuts, You slow down.
Because you want to sound authoritative.
You want to be clear. You're downloading information.
Yeah.
And then, for the call to action at the end, the instruction is to be heavy and firm.
Like a commander.
Or a financial advisor giving you the tip of a lifetime. Which leads to what the source calls the climax. This is where the banana is described as a hero in a yellow suit.
This is the emotional peak. The narrative pushes the idea that eating this banana is an investment. It says, old age can't catch you because you are running faster with the power of the Namwa banana.
It frames health not as a chore, something you have to do, but as a race you can win. It's empowering.
I love the idea of outrunning old age with banana in your hand. But, okay. We have to talk about the wildest part of the source material.
I think I know where you're going.
We have covered the health, the heroes, the cleaning ladies.
But we haven't talked about the muksao.
Ah, yes, the muksao.
For our listeners, muksao is a Thai phrase that basically translates to cheesy pickup lines, or like pearls of flirtation. The source material actually includes a section of flirtatious jokes to be used during this presentation about fruit. And this is where a lot of people might cringe and ask why. Why ruin a good health presentation with bad jokes? But from an applied storytelling perspective, this is genius.
How is it genius? Because some of these are really, really bad.
It's about something called the pratfall effect. In psychology, we know that if a competent person makes a mistake or acts a little silly, their likability goes up.
Okay.
If the speaker just stood there perfectly citing facts, they might seem cold or superior.
But if they stand there holding a banana and making a terrible pun about their heart,
They become vulnerable. They're willing to look foolish for your entertainment. It disarms the audience. If you're laughing at the speaker's bad joke, you are connecting with the speaker.
okay, we have to test this theory. The source breaks them down by level. I'm going to read level 1, the plea. And you tell me if you feel disarmed or just annoyed.
Go for it. I'm ready.
Okay, imagine I'm looking deep into your eyes. The script says, they say eating bananas makes your face look young. But if I want a young one sitting next to me, you have to look me in the eye.
Wow. Okay. That is incredibly smooth in a very cheesy way. It's a play on words, right? Young face versus young one, meaning a lover.
Exactly. And the script says to pause for 2 seconds after delivering it. You have to let the silence just hang there.
Oh, that pause is dangerous. If nobody laughs, you just die on stage.
But the script accounts for that. It says if it bombs, use self-deprecating humor immediately. Make a joke about your own belly fat or how awkward you are.
See, that's the safety net. All right, let's hear level 2. This is the heart.
Bananas are good for the heart. But if you want your heart to be even better, will you accept my heart to take care of?
It's terrible, but you can't help but smile, right? It just lowers your defenses.
Level 3 is my favorite because it relies on a pun. In the original language, the word for a bunch of bananas sounds like the word for you.
Right, so the line is,
A banana comb has many bananas, but in my heart, there is only you.
oh, that's good. That's a good one.
And finally, level 4, the technique. This one connects back to the diet aspect. Bananas help control hunger, but I can't control my heart from loving you.
You know, despite the cheesiness, this serves a crucial function. We call it a pattern interrupt. You're listening to facts about fiber and protein, logic, and suddenly, boom, an emotional, silly joke. It wakes your brain up. It keeps the audience from drifting off.
And it creates that friendship vibe we talked about earlier. You don't tell jokes like that to a stranger, you tell them to friends.
Exactly. And once the audience feels like your friend, they are infinitely more likely to buy what you're selling. In this case, the Namwa banana.
So it really is a masterclass in engagement. You start with NASA to build value. You move to a gut cleaning maid to visualize the benefit. You power up like a Super Saiyan.
And you end by flirting with the audience to seal the emotional bond. It's a roller coaster. It effectively rebrands a commodity. A Namwa banana is cheap, it's common, but through this script, it becomes an asset. The source actually uses that word, an ultimate investment.
So let's wrap this up by summarizing that investment. Based on our source text and stripping away the combat banana helmet for a second, why should our listener actually go out and grab a Namwa banana today?
Oh, the core facts remain compelling even without the story. You get a rapid energy boost from the potassium and carbs, perfect for a morning kickstart. You get the pectin for that big cleaning day detox effect. Remember the gel, not the broom.
And the pairings, are they legit?
The pairings are legitimate nutritional strategies. Eat it with an egg, You're balancing your macros for muscle repair, eat it with nuts,
Yeah.
a rabbit hug, and you're creating a slow release energy source that protects your insulin levels.
It's a high return, low cost. The source calls it a low cost, high return asset.
Exactly. It rivals the expensive supplements, but it costs pennies.
So here is the final call to action straight from the script. Don't overlook it just because it's on your shelf and not in a pharmacy. Pick it up, peel it, and as source says, eat your youth.
And if I can leave our listeners with one thought, not just about bananas, but about communication. We just spent all this time fascinated by a banana. Why? Because of the story wrapped around it.
It wasn't the fruit, it was the frame.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the provocative thought is this. If a simple Namwa banana can be framed as a Super Saiyan hero and an elixir of life through good storytelling, what other mundane parts of your life are actually superpowers, just waiting for the right narrative?
That is a great question. Maybe my morning coffee isn't just caffeine. Maybe it's liquid lightning.
Or your commute isn't just traffic, it's a warrior's journey to prepare for the day. It's all in the applied storytelling. If you can change this story, you can change the value.
I love that. Go find your superpowers, everyone. And seriously, go eat a banana. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.
See you next time.